Well, with that, let's call this meeting to order. I guess first thing is all directors are present. We have Diane, Paul and Rana, Joe Ketchum also present. First order of business is to establish a quorum. I guess we've got that. Mark, I see you're in Florida, so I assume you posted, or
yes,
the meeting was posted. So we take care of that. Next item on the agenda would be the approval of last month's minutes. I'm sure everybody's reviewed them online.
motion to waive the reading of the minutes as they were sent out.
Motion accepted. Any second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. So we will waive the reading of the minutes as accept them as posted and written. And I guess we'll go on to old business.
Okay. I did not send out an agenda, but frankly, we all know what the agenda is. It's just a matter we want to tackle it. The first thing, let's do something easy.
Okay, well, the first thing on what was new business at the last meeting, which would be old business at this one, is the north building gutters. Needs warranty from Cape Coral. We went through all that. We accepted their proposal, and I'm sure it's in the scheduling process. Now we have a lot to talk about in relation to these gutters with the new revelations from Ricky Hall and Galloway Roofing. I heard there was a little bit of talk before the meeting started, but yeah, I don't think we can get out of Cape Coral without losing our deposit. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to not do the job, but I don't think they'll be very happy about giving back the deposit. Though that said, Ricky's price plus losing the deposit, we're still under the 10,000. So I guess we could eat it and still save some money. That said, I think we should hold off on any scheduling of that if they haven't been put on the building already until we decide what we're doing here with Ricky and Galloway as far as fixing that roof. Did all the board members see what Mark sent out this morning regarding that?
Yes, I did.
Yep, I saw
Yeah,
it.
I saw it.
To me, right off the bat, I was shocked at the price of $5,800. I'm wondering if they missed a zero. It seems like an awful lot of work for that amount of money. But I would be happy to entertain that. Any other thoughts? Mark, you've kind of been there on the scene. What are you thinking?
I was up on the roof earlier this week, and it is not leaking today, but it's pretty clear from the discussion I had with Rick, who was standing there right there with me. He showed me examples of where he guarantees me we are looking at leaks in the next year or so. They're already starting to separate the
welded seams.
The welded seams. Yes.
So, Mike, can I say something?
Yes.
So being in that field and dealing with the TPO systems, I think the price is reasonable for what they have to do. They basically have to go back through the seams and probe all the seams. Basically, that means there's a wire that goes up to the seam, and any of the seams that are lifted up, they'll have to clean them and prime it and then reheat weld it. So I think that is fine, needs to be inspected when it's done. I think that's a reasonable price. And that is the place where it would leak. And I did see the letter from the contractor did the original job. I think it's just a waste of time dealing with them. especially we just basically bottom line made a bad deal. And that's the end of that. So let's get back on the right track. And I think definitely have him do it. Now, as far as the gutter is concerned, obviously we can't get our $4,000 back. We already made a deal. And if we can get the gutter company to hold off, like I saw in the letter that Galway said, that would be great. And my opinion is that's a fair price. I was thinking 5,000 to 6,000 for doing what he's doing, and I don't think he missed anything.
Mark, let me ask you about that 1 foot flashing. That I didn't really see, I don't think, or maybe I didn't pick up on. You had mentioned to me that they were going to take that off and be replacing that. Is that true?
That's my understanding from our verbal conversation. I did not read specifically in the quote. I did not have time to research the quote to find out if that's part of that quote.
There's
He
obviously.
said to me, when we're done, the flashing on the north building will look just like the flashing on the south building.
And one other thing, I didn't notice that if there's a warranty, they need to guarantee their work, obviously.
I think I saw on there that was 5 years on their work.
So they're going to guarantee it for 5 years?
I believe I read that, yes.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm all aboard with this deal. And make sure, as long as there's a warranty of 5 years, obviously everything's about warranty in life. You know, when you make a deal, if there's a warranty, I'm buying it. I'm not buying an appliance without a warranty or a car. So everything is warranty.
So I guess the question is what they're going to find underneath that flashing. That's obviously a variable that they referred to $85 an hour, I believe, for any repair.
I doubt if they'll find any problems underneath the flashing. It's not leaking now, so they're not going to find anything rotten. So they're probably just going to
Well,
most probably in that
very
scenario.
wide flashing is on there. I mean, we could go ahead with blinders and say, yeah, there's no rot under there. But they put that on there because they ripped all the stucco off the building. So we know that there's going to be stucco repairs under there. And my guess is they covered it up rather than fixing it because there's going to be more extensive work than what we're thinking here. I'm not against them fixing the roof. I'm all for spending that money. I think it's very reasonable for what it seems that they're doing. I just have a suspicion that we're opening up a can of beans here. And I'd almost really like someone to lift up that so-called flashing and take a look underneath it and give us some kind of an idea of what they covered up. I mean, I think they covered something up. They didn't put that big flashing up there for no reason at all.
Well, unless they didn't know what they were doing, and I've seen a lot of people don't know the right proper method of application, so we can't rule that out either. But there is.
But it did make a big deal of the additional cost of that. So
Well, there can be always additional costs in roofing.
I'm sure, and yeah, it could be they didn't know what they were doing. I mean, I have absolutely no respect for them, that's for sure, especially after their most recent correspondence with us.
Yeah, we don't need to correspond with them anymore. It's a waste of time and energy.
No, it is. It absolutely is. I want the board to be aware of my reservations, not reservations. I just believe once we start this, we're going to find additional work that needs to be. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the same thing as Mark's photo showed of his header above the window in the bedroom. I think we're going to find the same thing on the roof edge. That's what I think. I think the first 6 inches of that roof edge are going to be dry rot damaged, and that we're going to find structural work that needs to be done. That's my theory. I am not an expert, but I been in this association long enough to know these buildings well enough that we're gonna uncover something that's gonna be an additional expense.
What's the alternatives?
There is no alternative, really. I don't think. I just want everybody to be ready for it. Like, I don't want to move on to Windows and spend all of our money deciding, on putting in new windows when we have this can of beans potentially exploding on us. So
First, you need to get the roof totally completed on both buildings and the gutters, and then move on. Always. The foundation and the roof are the most important parts of any structure. So the roof integrity and the gutters, get that done and then move on to the windows.
So
My
at this
opinion.
point,
I agree with you.
Callaway Roofing has a proposal before us for $5,800 to repair the north roof, right? I'm just looking at the minutes. It says south roof, but that must be the building that's being done right now. We're talking about the north building right now.
Yeah, the south building, the gutters are already involved in that, already in the price, so we don't deal with it.
Right. So, all right, we started talking about gutters. We went on to talking about the north roof. So right now we have, again, a proposal before us for $5,800 to fix the roof. I don't know. Can I make a motion that we accept that and move along with Galloway repairing our roof? I'm not sure if I'm allowed to make a motion, but
Well, I'll make the motion. We gotta get it started. Motion to accept the Galloway proposal to repair the north roof.
is there a second?
I second
I'll-
it.
All right.
So now we can have.
All in favor?
Oh, are we ready to vote, or is there any other discussion?
I'm sorry. Would anybody else like to talk on the subject of gutters being held back and roof being repaired?
Well,
No.
I'd just make the point that yes, if we're gonna do that, then we would contact the gutter manufacturer. And I'm not a good negotiator, but it seems to me like somebody with good negotiation skills could negotiate that $4,000 deposit down. The worst, all we can do is ask. If they haven't started the job yet, we have no materials on site. Obviously, it's not like they had to buy something special from us or for us, because that's just what they do is gutters. They're just pieces parts.
But you already gave them the $4,000, correct?
Right.
And the right of rescission in most states is 3 days on working days, Monday through Friday, in most states in this country. So it would be difficult to get we can try, but I think it'll be difficult legally to require. We can ask, but I doubt it. We can get it.
Well, I guess my point is we have to ask them to postpone anyway.
We can do that. We can
this-
certainly do that. That's good, but
I mean, we've already
Actually-
voted to approve them. We've agreed. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we have a contract with them. If it's going to cost us a little bit more money, then let's again use it as a learning curve. And, maybe
we really didn't do anything wrong. I mean, they might be actually you're going right to the gutter company.
I'm not going to the gutter company for about anything. I'm just going to ask the gutter company to not install the gutters yet and wait until we're ready to do the gutters.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we did anything wrong and we could have them delay it. And I'm not saying we made a bad contract, because if you deal directly with the gutter company rather than the roofing company subbing it to the gutter company, we had no idea who they would sub it to. So this way, we're actually probably we would have gotten a better job. So we're okay.
Bad feelings about our decision. I'm fine with Cape Coral gutters they need to just hold back and wait until our roof situation is
Okay,
finalized.
so who will contact them?
You have been the go-between with Cape Coral. If you wouldn't mind, I would ask you. If you don't want to deal with it, that's fine. We'll
Well,
just,
I'll call them and deal with it this weekend if possible.
I mean, all we have to do is ask him not to come Monday. Put it on the hanger for now.
Okay,
Okay.
and we'll let them know when we need them over there.
Pending notification, yeah.
Okay,
And
Well-
I mean, Ricky said he could pretty much get on this pretty quickly, if I'm not mistaken, in that last email.
He said after the south building roof is done, they have a project that will take a week and they'll come back and start on the north building.
So
Okay, so
we're
it could
only
be-
really talking a week or two.
Yes.
So I think we just delay the gutters for a week or two. We let Ricky take a look at that roof and we find out what's underneath that flashing. And then we make a decision on that.
okay, I'll contact them.
There's still a motion on the floor to accept Ricky's offer. We're in discussion. Is there anybody else that wants to discuss this issue? Any other board member?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So on that, we'll take a vote. All in favor of accepting Galloway proposal, $5,800 to repair north roof. In favor? Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
aye.
Okay, I believe that's unanimous. I think I heard 4 additional ayes.
Mhm.
All right. So, really just out of curiosity, I want to just ask about the south roof and what status that's at. Because Mark, do you know?
Yeah, they're about, excuse me, they're about half done. I spoke with Ricky's son Gage is the lead on that project. He said they've not had to replace any wood. The wood has been solid underneath. And they expect to wrap that project up next week, barring weather.
Are they concerned with this tropical storm that's passing off, or are we watertight and there's no concerns?
And I asked him about that. He said, we make a determination every morning whether we're going to continue work that day or button up. He said, and then Friday afternoon, they spent just buttoning up and making sure that there would be nothing that would fly away or have a problem over the weekend. But they're not doing the entire roof at one time. They're doing sections approximately equal to the units underneath.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions on that roof project before we move on?
They will just make sure that they install the gutters. That's part of the project.
Yeah, we had that conversation and in
When the
fact,
roof is done, of course. obviously.
Ricky said, actually he says Rick. I shouldn't call him Ricky. But Rick said that he ended up kind of throwing in the gutters at the time this project was quoted, and now I won't say he's having second guesses, but he said he's going to have over $5,000 into that. And he said, I can eat that. He said, but I sure can't eat more gutters. He said, if we're going to do gutters on the north building, he says, I've got to charge you guys.
We already have a contract on the north building, so that's off the table.
No, we just approved for the north building. You're thinking of the south building.
The south building, right? The south building is what we're talking about. at
The
this
south
point.
Yeah.
building, there,
On the north building, he said he could do gutters for, if we could get out of the contract with, our current gutter guys, he said it would be about half what he would charge.
hey, well, that's a difficult situation. You'd have to get the $4,000 back.
Just said that he's losing money doing
Okay.
the one on the
I
other.
have
building.
I have to run down here. Hold on.
that would be, I mean, I could ask, but
No, look, I think we should, again, we've already talked about the gutters. I think we should stay with Cape Coral, stay with the contract we've already got. He has to put the gutters on the building. It's part of his contract. As far as the building we're talking about now, the south building.
of course.
If he takes a loss on it, he takes a loss on it.
Well, I knew he threw it in to get the deal, but you know what? That's part of business.
And that's right. Right.
That's what we do every day.
So long as he does it right and he doesn't chintz and he puts the right gutters on, then I'm fine with it.
It's all spelled out what he's gonna do.
Yep, it is. It
So,
is.
you know, and I understand what he's trying to do is, but we can't, getting out of a deal is real bad business.
No, we're not doing it. So we're in agreement and we're not doing it.
Yeah, people have done that to me and it doesn't work well,
Okay. The next thing that we kind of had in old business was Claire's interior damage from the leaks.
All right. Okay. I didn't know. Okay, but I'm pretty sure we will be back. Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know which end of the roof they started on, whether they're done over her unit or they started at the street end.
They started Pleasant.
Sorry, what was that, Diane?
They started Pleasant.
I think what needs to happen with that, Robert, obviously is when the complete project is done, including the gutters, and we wait a couple, 2-3 rains and make sure everything's dry, then the repairs can proceed.
Well, at this point, it seems to me like everything takes
Premature.
3 or 4 weeks. So I think we can still, we can't deal, we've got one estimate on it from WSV. I believe we need to get more than one estimate, unfortunately. Not my rules, just the rules. So I don't see an issue if she's dry now with people going in there to give us numbers.
We can get numbers, just don't do the work.
It'll take them weeks to schedule the job anyway. I don't want to wait another 2 weeks to just get numbers and then wait another 2 weeks for them to schedule.
Get the numbers.
We can be a little more proactive.
Get the
What are
numbers, don't do the
What are we
work.
talking about now? I'm sorry, I had to step away. The
Unit 49, Claire O'Hara.
Interior repairs, Mark.
Sure, I agree.
So, Mark, just to catch you up quick, we're talking about Claire's interior repairs. WSB gave us an estimate for the drywall repairs, which I think is is reasonable. However, I guess due to Florida statutes, we need to at least get 1 or 2 other estimates.
How much was the estimate, by the way, Robert?
I don't have it directly in front of me, to be honest with you. It's in an email somewhere along the line that I saw. I thought it was below $2,000. I thought,
That's
but
reasonable.
I would have to dig it out again to see. And she did have more leaking since then, so I don't know. I guess we'll reach out to Palmer Management to supply us with qualified people to bid on it. And of course, it'll have to be set up through Claire to look at. Unfortunately, Claire's not here today to participate, but I know she was concerned with getting that work done. Does anybody want to talk on this subject? Okay, that noted, I will contact Palmer for additional estimates for drywall repair in her unit. Is number what, 48?
49.
49? Mark's 48. Okay, the next thing I see, where am I? Well, I guess I'm jumping back and forth. The next thing we can talk about is the flood damage. behind Joe's and his neighbors there. As far as I know, we talked last month that everything was repaired to everyone's satisfaction. Joe was possibly going to bring in soil. I don't know what's going on with that. Joe, do you still want to bring in soil? Did you bring in soil?
I was going to bring in soil. Mark asked me to get quotes on it. I asked him why he wanted me to get quotes, if the board was going to pay for it. If they are, I got the quotes. If not, I'll bring it in. I want to do it quickly, but I only need 2 days. They can
Right.
dump dirt at the end of the parking lot and I'll fill it in and it'll be done. But I can't wait 2 weeks, a month with all these storms. It'll only take me 2 days to fill it in.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously the gutters aren't done yet. I mean,
No.
we were kind of waiting to get everything done so it didn't just wash away quickly again. I mean, you can get quotes, or you did?
I
mean,
did.
So can you give us an idea of how much the soil
One
would?
quote was, it's 9 yards. One quote was $652.50. The second quote was $525.14. And the third quote was $498.62. And that's delivered.
Okay, so that's just dumped out there in the front, and then
In the front parking lot at the
Somebody-
2 end parking spaces, and then I'd have to wheelbarrow it back.
and you're willing to do that?
I'm going to do it. Yeah, I need it done.
Okay. I would say, I don't have the actual numbers, but I mean, it's only dirt, and between the high and the low, obviously I would go with the low for $500 to replace the soil back there. I'm willing to, I'm stuttering. Insurance paid us for this project. Soil itself was not an itemized item, but I believe we still came in slightly under what insurance gave us. So I would say, make a motion or say, let's spend the $498 for 9 yards of soil to be spread by Joe behind his unit.
Support.
But here that I also asked Joe to fill in that dip I have right in front of my unit at the
If it's
back.
If it's the same 9 yards, I don't really care where it's spread. That's fine.
And I agreed to do that.
So, board members, it's a board decision. Anybody want to talk on it?
There's one other caveat. I do have to rent a compactor. That I don't know what that's going to be. $100 a day. I don't know. $75.
Let this rain settle it.
Yeah,
I've done projects like this. You really do need a compactor.
I agree. And it'll be done right. And we'll have to worry about it for 20, 30 years.
Right. Mr. Chair, you made the motion for the dirt. Why don't you accept a friendly amendment that is also to include a rental of a compactor? And I'll support it.
amendment so noted to include compactor.
I got some pricing in front of me on the compactor, $93 a day.
Okay.
Work fast, Joe.
Joe, what are you doing for a wheelbarrow?
I've got it already.
Oh, okay, excellent. Good man.
Okay. Other board members? Okay. So then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Would
Okay,
anybody object to me having the dirt ordered next week?
So long as it's not in the way of the roofing project, I have absolutely no objections of you getting the soil as soon as possible.
Thank you.
I think added,
And how much the parking lot floods.
I think some plastic should be put down.
Yeah,
before
do
the
be
dirt.
careful, drain if they're gonna do it in the parking lot.
I would
maybe
suggest that plastic be put down before the dirt's brought in.
Fair enough.
Dirt on a tarp.
I will.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next thing was Joshua Tree removing the tree. The tree is gone. Joshua Tree is paid. I don't think there's really anything to talk about on that. North building status, we've gone over the north building. Lanai's, we're still open for talking about. I have not yet seen anything from Josh on the spray foam sealant,
No.
so follow up with Josh.
No, the feeling was that if we get the gutters fixed, the lanai problem should drastically reduce, perhaps even take care of itself. I
Copy.
watched on my lanai, we had a big rain Monday or Tuesday. And the gutters from the lanais would hold the rain up to a certain point, and then they were overwhelmed by the roof rain.
Hmm.
And that's when the lanai started to leak.
Okay,
They're not designed.
gutters are in the work. We'll follow up on that.
Yeah.
North building gutters, we talked about north building gutters. I guess we're up to talking about the windows.
Windows and termites.
Termites are next.
Okay.
So windows, we had talked about and we obtained estimates for replacing whatever windows were left. Out of the two bids we've obtained, I personally would still go with Josh and WSV, as they're about $10,000 less. However, that said, I believe, as discussed earlier, we shouldn't make any decision on these windows until we know what's underneath our mystery coping. Anybody else want to talk on that subject?
I would agree to hold off on that.
It
Until we-
breaks my heart, but I have to agree.
So we're gonna table the window conversation at least until Galloway has completed their roof repairs and subsequent exposure of whatever's there. New business was Nancy's for sale sign. I haven't heard anything about that. I guess she's fine with selling a place. All right, now we're up to termites.
Is that what it sounded like?
So termites have been detected, as far as I know, in 2 units. Correct me if I'm wrong. Claire's unit and is it Nancy's unit, or does anybody know the unit numbers on which termites have been detected?
Wasn't it Rose
Claire.
Stiver, the new owner?
Was it the new owner, Rose's place? I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not either.
So she would be 44, I guess, if it was hers. Now,
Somebody knew. Did you hear it?
pest eliminators we have a contract with them for indoor pests, but not termites, I guess. One sec, folks, sorry. Cooper had to come in. So unfortunately, I've been a little busy the past week or two, and I haven't been able to call pest eliminators, but are they the ones that we're already paying to inspect and identify the bugs?
Yes,
So, and they'll come in for what we're paying them and tell us what kind of bugs they are and how to eradicate them. Last year, did we not have them in to look at Claire's unit? And I wish Claire was involved with this. And I mean, they said they were flying ants. I don't know the difference between flying ants and drywall termites. You know, is one covered by what we're paying for and one's not covered by what we're paying for? It seems to me as if we should go unit by unit since nobody else is really seems to have them. As Mark has, you know, indicated in his correspondence with us all, it seems impractical to tent the buildings at this point and make everybody move out for 2 days because of 2 units that may or may not have termites, as I understand it. So I definitely think we should go and as unit or have the whole place inspected if that's what Pest Eliminators is being paid for. I mean, they gave us an estimate to do the whole building, but do we need to do the whole building? Is that something that they believe we're infested, or, you know, how do they get into one unit and not be in the one next door? Has anybody else had any time to investigate or look into or have anything to add to this conversation?
I can say that I've done a bit of research. Obviously, wood termites, and I may have explained all this in an email I sent a couple of weeks ago. Frankly, I've forgotten. Wood termites are different than the underground termites. The wood termites are slow to work. It can take years of them being inside the building before you ever notice them. And the state, Florida says the only guaranteed way to get rid of them is to tent the building. If you're not tenting the building, if you're going through the walls, basically they have 2 options. One is to put some sort of, they drill tiny holes between each joist and spray something. That something could be a chemical or some kind of salt. But essentially, you're just taking you're just working the odds that you're going to actually get them where they are. And so those are the quotes we have. I don't disagree with you. It may make sense to do this 1 unit at a time. On the other hand, to your point, we don't even know what we don't know. And unfortunately, Pest Eliminators, beyond just seeing, and we know we have some problem because Claire has shown us and sent us pictures of the termite dust lying inside her house on the floor. So we know we have a problem. We just don't know the extent of it.
Well, I guess if we're doing drywall repairs in Claire's unit, it may expose a little more information for us on that.
Yeah.
With you having your walls open recently, was there any sign of
0.
bug activity? 0. I had my bathroom ceiling kind of open, and the joists up there seem solid. You know, I see no bug activity in my place, although I'm right next door to one of the reported ones. Did she just have her windows replaced? Did I understand that correctly?
Who?
No, I guess she couldn't have already. Rose.
No.
That would have been too fast. Okay, board members, anybody else want to talk on termites?
No sign of any on my unit.
I've opened up the, the walls in my bathroom. I just repaired or redid my bathroom. So I opened it up all the way to the rafters and the front window damage. I had drywall out of there.
We
No
have-
signs of termite in this place.
I might let them know.
Okay, well, that's
You're on
good
there.
to,
I can't, I'm not on there.
we can hear you talking, Ronna. You want to say
Oh,
something?
yeah, we've never seen any termite dust in our place. And remember, they opened up the ceiling and repaired the ceiling up there, and nobody said anything about any termites.
All right, well, I mean, these are all good reports and noted, which leads me back to just independently treating units with issues. Was that even a recommendation, Mark, to do individual units? I mean, everything was pretty much for the whole place, was it not?
I have to go back and look at the contracts, but everybody had a quote for, it seemed, if I recall, everybody had a quote for units. I can verify that. I can look at them here. Pest eliminators. That was $15,000 for the building.
Right.
Okay, I'm just ripping down through here right now. Truly Nolan. TrueGuard, they were $6,700 to start and then $1,000 an annual to come back. That was for the whole building. Orkin, $11,000 to start. And then they had something called, that was for fumigation. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then they have what's called drywall liquid treatment. And that it involves putting something around the outside of the house, which we're beyond that. And that was $4,400. And then they had a monthly pest control where they would actually come into the house. And it was $600 to start and $300 a month. That is for both buildings. And
I don't, oh, sorry.
pest eliminators for Nancy's unit only. So that was the other one. You're right, Nancy. Was $1,400.
So
So
they
it's
did,
$1,400 to do one unit with pest eliminators. And they're giving us a $200 discount because we already do business with them. So to answer your question, we could make a motion, $2,400. We could do the 2 units today, Nancy and Claire, that both have found them. And we've done our due diligence.
yeah, I guess I'm kind of liking that idea. I would like to talk to pest eliminators and see if they recommend this approach, or if they think if we just kill them in one unit, they're going to move over from the one next door. There are concrete block walls between every unit. There's no wood that is coast, except for the roof, and the roof line probably dies into the firewall anyway. No, there's not firewalls between every unit. So the only way they could transfer from unit to unit would be through the roof. But I guess they're not like the subterranean. Like, why are we only finding them upstairs and not downstairs? They don't come out of the ground, but treating outside around the perimeter would do good for them.
I'm not a termite expert. I can say that when I read up on termites, indoor wood termites and underground termites are both big problems in Florida.
Okay. Well, I think we need to get rid of the bugs, and I think we need to do it on a per unit basis, at least to start.
Okay, well, then I want to make a motion that we hire pest eliminators to treat the Nancy and Claire's units. internally.
Okay, so we have a motion. on the-
Pending conversation with Rob.
We have a motion on the table to accept Pest Eliminator's quote. $1,400,
12 and 12 is 24.
$1,200 per unit to treat the bug activity in the 2 reported units. Do I have a second?
I would second it.
Okay, thank you. That was Walter.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, I'm an aye, so that's unanimous. We will contact Pest Eliminators. Per unit. Okay. I guess the next thing on the agenda would be any new business that wants to be brought before the board. Does anybody have any new business that hasn't been discussed that they'd like to bring before the board? Okay, is there any board member that would like to speak for any reason? All right, that all said, I guess, could I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Arnold.
Yep.
A second?
I would second it.
Thank you. That was Walter. And all in favor? Aye.
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 Meeting adjourned at 10:47. Thank you all very much for participating.